Hi, welcome to our Leaving Care podcast. This is Lee and Brendan, and we hope you're doing well. We're continuing our conversation today with Jan Owen, and we really will look forward to hearing her talk about young people are our superheroes, the young people with their resilience and their adaptability for so much change. So, looking forward to what Jan has to speak about today.
And by the way, I would say every young person who's been in care has got more resilience, more tools, more capacity to deal with complexity, to deal with change,
Absolutely.
to deal with life than probably 90% of kids that grow up in sort of well-supported families. Like, seriously, they are our superheroes, young people in care.
What have you learnt the most from working closely with young people? That are, I guess, are the real standouts. Yeah.
I mean, one thing that really comes to mind, and I've learned this all the way through, and I'm still learning this because I still have the privilege of working with young people everywhere.
Yeah.
This kind of fearlessness.
Yes.
Because there are these points in your life, and I think it's when you're really young and really old. Actually, I think the middle bit is the messy bit.
Yeah.
This chaotic mess.
Yeah.
But when you're young and when you're old, like, a lot of stuff just falls away. Like, just the things that, people, expectations on you, or what people think about you, or the kind of career trajectory that you're trying to have, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
When you're really young and really old, it's like nobody cares, and you definitely don't care.
Yeah.
That's true.
And fearlessness is a really really big thing that I think that I love about both old and young people.
Yeah. It's really good. That fearlessness is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like being able to share their mind. And
say it like it is,
Oh, they do. They do. I learnt that when I was
truth to power. That.
Yeah, absolutely.
That comes from a kind of a fearlessness that's just. Yeah, I love that. I'm in awe of that. I think it's profound.
Yeah. And I have to say, I love your little logo on, it's got like a seagull standing on top of a sign that says no seagulls allowed. I don't know why, but my heart jumps at that, and I absolutely love that. It reminds me of the favorite scene out of Nemo, where Dad's yelled out the Nemo fish. What's his dad's name? I can't remember. But he says, "Don't touch that, don't touch that." And little Nemo goes, and he touches it. I just love that whole spirit. It's great. I see that in young people.
I love it.
See that sign I would see in young people and old people.
Yeah, that's very much, that's it. That says everything, that sign.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that sign is 1,000 words.
Wherever the sign says don't go there, pretty much I go there.
Yeah. People say don't go, don't touch that. Don't go down there. It's been done. You can't do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. Like, I love that about you, Jan. What did leaving care look like when you were at Create Foundation? So you're in there, you've got your kids in the child labour, doing all that stuff, stuffing envelopes. You're doing it with young people. What did the system look like back then?
Leaving care, if you're asking about that particularly, was 100% an afterthought. There were a couple of services that started in New South Wales, but it was one of the most terrible and complex areas, and why, we had these terrible trajectories, which we still do, by the way, today. So we definitely have not sorted this. But, this kind of trajectory into homelessness or trajectory into juvenile justice, I mean, just terrible, 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 and so unnecessary, because nobody was thinking about pathways. Nobody was thinking about joined up approaches and systems. So there were some services that were actually trying, and New South Wales was the first to, there was a service where you could go and that help you find accommodation and so on, but it was not joined up. the aspirations for young people leaving care were very low. So, you know, if you, you know, our foster daughter who came to us at 15, who absolutely amazing. She ended up being, you know, one of the Young Australian of the Year finalists. But she, you know, the aspirations around her were just get her out of care and get her into a job and, you know, at Coles or Woolies, and like that's success. Now she went on to do a double degree to be the Young Australian of the Year in Queensland, Young Australian of the Year finalist, all the while she had a baby. I mean, she is, you know, like an absolute role model. And I saw that, but that was by default, not by design.
Yeah.
So any young people that I saw kind of break through that sort of barrier of low aspiration was by default, not by design. And that's not good enough.
It's not okay.
No, not good enough. No. Because there are brilliant.
All the time I was in care, you know, this is homelessness, this is a 42% chance of homelessness, 42% about having a baby, and all the stats. She said she did not stop hearing it, and she started to fear it. So when she left care and her accommodation fell through and she was homeless, she's like, oh, there you go, I'm one of the statistics. So taking that and saying what default by design. I love that, doing it by design. So having her reach Young Australian of the Year by default. Yeah. Not even the aspirations.
Yeah. I love the aspirations and the dreams and visions, because I know that I know Heidi talked about that, you know, with a lot of futures and how that impacted. She had so many stories that she shared about, you know, it's just being blown away just because there's somebody from the community who spent time and said, hey, would you like to be exposed to this? You know, like, I think it was for her, I think it was writing a book or something like that, and getting in touch with the author. And she was just blown away. And singing, you know, not having to have somebody, you know, just somebody who can come alongside them that don't have to, are not workers, you know, that have to be with them just because of who they are. Yeah, not so just value them as a person, as you know. So very much so.
Possible thinking.
Yeah. I love that message. So
we had lots of funny stories as well. So the insurance industry of Australia used to support us at Create, and they would take that we set up like an internship program, and they were like they just said in a couple of the insurance companies, and they said, these young people are amazing because they know everything that goes on out in the real world and on the street. And they're giving us intel that we have never had about insurance policies and insurance.
That's true.
And it was, you know, this was spiky stuff, right? Like you've always got to see young people. This is what I think about the fearlessness, but also just this sort of frankness about, you know, young people are often spiky, and that's what you need in a business. If you want to be innovative, if you want to stay in the kind of zone of kind of change management and innovation, and also really smart customer service, you need spiky people. You need people who are a bit edgy, and young people are always going to be that for you in any business, let alone young people who've come from really interesting and complex environments. Like, they know things that your normal everyday staff will never know and never come up with, and also therefore they'll come up with solutions and ideas that are out of the box. And that the insurance companies are like, can we get more interns? That's amazing for us. Like, this is giving us an edge.
That was great, Brendan. Part 2 of Jan Owen. What incredible insights that she's learned from the fearlessness of young people, and the fact that they really are the superheroes with, you know, everything they've navigated from leaving care, navigating what that is, all the things they've been through, you know, growing up with so much coming at them and being able to navigate them like curveballs, and just incredible strength that they have, hey? Yeah. What was your favourite takeout today?
Yeah, I think, you know, the aspirations as well, when she talked about that. Because, you know, they've got so much to offer, and, you know, it's just the opportunities that they're given, you know, once they're given the opportunity, you know, we see how much they can thrive.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, really, yeah.
Really love that. Yeah, I think the final highlight I'd like to bring is just that she said that, you know, young people, when you raise the bar and actually look at the aspirational thinking, like you were saying, you know, it's limitless. You know, we put these limits on young people and say, you know, get this, get together and, you know, get all this together and perhaps you won't be homeless, or maybe you might become a statistic. What about if all of the barriers are lifted off, all of the, you know, the things that hold them down, and just say, you know, the world is your oyster. You have opportunities just like every other young person. And in fact, so much more because of what you've endured and what you've lived through. Hey, I thought it was absolute gold tonight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Really inspirational.
So next week is Christmas, and it'll be Boxing Day on the Sunday where we go live to post our episode. And it's only going to be a short one next week. Brendan and I are going to be speaking about, aren't we, the Thrive pilot. Just a quick snapshot into what our next steps will be. So it's exciting. We're spreading the word. Please like and subscribe. Spread the word. We love to get this out there because the more that you like and subscribe and leave a comment, the more that the podcasts and the more that the word gets out there about this pilot, which is we're really super excited about. And it's all about young people coming and backing young people because that's what we're about.
Yeah.
So enjoy Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your family and your friends. And we shall see you next Sunday. Bye for now.
Bye for now.